UK's unemployment rate has fallen to its lowest level in some 42 years. Figures are released for average earnings as well.
They increased by 2.4% during the first quarter of the year, just 0.1% up on the previous month.
Let's bring in our correspondent Charlotte Lomas, who's been studying the figures. You'd have to say, on the day that the Chancellor and the Prime Minister went through Labour's manifesto numbers, this is quite good mood music for them.
It is, and it really does show two sides of the story with the figures out today. While we've got on one side reason to be optimistic, we've seen that unemployment has fallen to its lowest level since 1975 to 4.6%.
50,000, I mean,
yes,
they're not small numbers, are they?
Exactly, and it is showing signs that the economic climate, that the labour market has been strong and has been resilient. That is certainly something that the Prime Minister Theresa May
and hasn't
has
been kiboshed by Brexit, at least not yet.
Not yet. That's what they're showing signs of. But on the other hand, we're seeing today that inflation is outstripping wage growth for the first time in 2.5 years. So we've seen the average weekly earnings, excluding bonuses, rising by 2.1%. And with inflation rising, we saw the figures out yesterday showing that inflation is rising 2.7%, with the Bank of England forecasting it could reach 3% by the end of this year. That means that households are going to continue to really feel that squeeze on their budgets as the months continue. So that is the real concern. But as you say, there are some positive signs. The Prime Minister has said, quoting on these figures, that this shows incredible economic policies are continuing to deliver greater economic security for families across the country. But the big question is inflation, and we're seeing now that households are starting to feel the pinch.
OK. Just actually reading, even as you were speaking, it's just dropped on our Newswire service that IKEA is to open 3 new outlets and create 1,300 new jobs. Time was when people really studied those unemployment totals very, very closely indeed. It seems to be less of a bellwether than once it was. And the idea of how much money people have got in their pockets seems to matter more now. I
think it's where people are really feeling the squeeze, isn't it? Because you've also, as well, today, the figures of the claimant count, which is another key figure, has actually risen. It depends on how you read these and how people are affected. I think, obviously, at the moment, people are concerned with how households will respond to this, and that's what they'll be looking for.
OK. Charlotte, thanks very much indeed.